You guys ready? Yep. Good evening. Thank you all for being here. I'm going to call the governing board meeting of October 26th to order. It is 6:31. Lisa, roll call. Present.
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 And I do want to mention that Dr. Chestnut and Mrs. Knorr have excused absences, as well as Mrs. Melvin. And with that, Dr. Miller, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I will. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And we have the adoption of the agenda. Do I have any amendments or motions?
Motion to approve as written.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
My screen just went down.
Okay, we're at the call to public.
Did you hear me? My screen just went blank, but keep going.
Hey, wizard in the back? We have a screen that just went blank. And it wasn't mine this time. Or 31, action taken as a result of public comment will be limited to directing staff to study the matter, responding to any criticism, or scheduling the matter for a future agenda. The board requests that all comments be limited to 3 minutes or less, and that the public refrain from the use of speech or language that is offensive or inappropriate pursuant to board policy KFA. And I have one speaker card, Christine Dickinson. And please, would you pick up the mic? Thank you.
Good evening, President Coutre, Dr. Miller, Ms. Anderson, Mrs. Anderson, members of Cabinet. My name is Christine Dickinson, 43673 West McClellan Court in the Villages. I'm here tonight as a community member and parent of a Santa Rosa first grader, asking for your support and the community's support in our override election on November 8th when you go to the polls. Please vote yes to support our schools to lower our class sizes by hiring 50 new certified staff members and providing $500,000 in new instructional technology to our students. Any additional information can be found on voteyesmaricopa.com. And please come out to our phone bank on Saturday the 5th from 1 to 4 to help reach our voters and call our registered voters. And then we will be doing sign waving on the side of the 347 from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. on Monday the 7th. And then we will be at your polls on November 8th, handing out cards asking for voter support. Please vote yes. For anybody who's wondering where this is on your ballot, flip your ballot over. It is the lower right-hand side. It says Maricopa Unified School District Budget Increase. Please fill in the circle that says yes to support our schools. Thank you.
All right, now, normally at this point, we have the superintendent's report. Dr. Chestnut's not here, so filling in for him is Mr. Beckett.
Thank you, President Coutre, members of the governing board.
You've got to pick up the mic.
Thank you, President Coutre, and members of the governing board. Tonight's superintendent's report. We're going to start out with our Rotary Students of the Month, and Mr. Roush, I believe, will be coming forward and announcing those students. Mr. Irving will be coming up and announcing those students. Here you go, sir.
We both will. The Rotary would like to thank the governing board for really supporting this and supporting our Student of the Month. Each month, the schools can recommend various students based upon their merit and their involvement for Student of the Month. The students will be getting a packet that Mr. Roush will give them. And we want to stress to the students a little bit about Rotary, a little plug. And it'll be a little magnet. It talks about Rotary and the four-way test. And our four-way test, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Is it beneficial to all? And will it build goodwill and better friendships? And I'd want to encourage you, especially one of the students in high school, use this when you apply for scholarships. I know having done that at the high school, they like to see things like this and like to see awards like this. So congratulations to all of you. Also want to make sure we thank the parents. Ms. Schrader's parents, Jen and Kristen, are here. Wave. Hey, yeah. Thank you so much. And Kimbriana's parents, Kenneth and Cynthia Washington, and sisters, okay, are here to support her. And also would like to thank, they have to be nominated by somebody. So Rick Abel and Mike Glover recommended Kimbriana. So we want to thank them. Okay, if the two students would come up, say a little bit about them. Kimbriana and Emma. These are two outstanding students that I want to present to you. First of all, Kimbriana is a September Cavett Student of the Month. She is the daughter of Kenneth and Cynthia Washington. Mr. Glover reports she's an outstanding student and has reported to the Rotary that Kimbriana is a second-year Cavett Medical Assistance Program with a career goal to be a registered nurse and to attend Langston University in Oklahoma or the University of Arizona. Rotary was also informed that she is involved in many activities, which includes MEH activities where she participates in basketball and has played in the Powerpuff football game. Who won? I forgot. I didn't go. Whoa, go Sears. I missed it. Kimbriana's community activities have included a completed career leadership development program in Phoenix where she served two roles. Assistant to the president at Emma Schroeder. Emma, see what you have to look forward to when you get to the high school. Emma's a September Maricopa Wells Student of the Month. She is the daughter of Jen and Christian Schrader. It is reported that she has been recommended for this award due to her outstanding academic work and volunteer activities to be commended. Rotary has been informed that not only is she an excellent student with a 3.83 grade point average, but also is involved in a number of school and community activities. She is a member of the National Junior Honor Society and serves as a student body officer. Emma volunteers her time as a Maricopa Recreation Flag football coach and helps at the Maricopa Food Bank. As a result of her suggestion, Maricopa Wells has gathered nearly $1,000 in cash donations and hundreds of pounds of canned food for the food bank. Emma is also a member of our orchestra and has won numerous awards at the state level in the Future Cities competition. Mr. Abel states, "We are fortunate to have Emma on our campus. She is truly a good Panther." Thank you, Brittany, for always exuding such a positive attitude and setting a great example for your peers. Teachers are pleased to have you recognized as a Student of the Month. Congratulations. Okay, stay up here for a picture.
Next, we'd like to invite Favor up from Maricopa High School to further the report from the Student Council. Here we go.
Hi, my name is Favor Dupamowo, and I am the Student Body Vice President at Maricopa High School. And this is to give you guys a report on what's happening after Homecoming Week. Homecoming Week had a really great turnout of over 755 kids. And like so far, we're trying to get more involved with the school and trying to get our students more hyped for what's going on till winter break. So like recently, Student Council actually was involved with Powder Puff by donating to them. And we plan on donating to the Shark Tank also. And also, oh, not tomorrow. On Thursday, that's tomorrow. Oh my God. On Friday, don't forget to come to our last game. It's an away game, but like student council plans to attend through bucketing with the cheerleaders, and also. So we have one more Spirit Week planned for the year, and we plan to have a really fun week, make it not really easy, but also like difficult, so everyone can participate. And also, we have more activities planned, like a snowball fight and maybe a laser tag. Okay. And also, we have an out-of-school activity, like a movie night for our students before the winter break, and maybe it might be with DECA, with Ms. Rossinello, and that's it.
This is a great opportunity. We're so thrilled tonight to be able to recognize Zoe. She is a therapy dog, and Bill Townsend has been the trainer, owner for the dog. She has done a terrific work for our kids, and I have a little presentation I'd like to make, and I'd like to read something. This is from her Vita. I didn't realize dogs had Vitas, but this is her resume. 10-year-old boxer Zoe Grace has earned the American Kennel Club, AKC, title of Therapy Dog Distinguished, the highest award for therapy dog for completing over 400 visits. 300 visits and over 600 hours were completed in the Maricopa Unified School District. Why don't we have you guys stand up while we're talking about them? They're terrific. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate it. Yeah, 300 visits and over 600 hours were completed in the Maricopa Unified School District. In MUSD, Zoe has visited in the Maricopa Elementary School with Laura Doan's special needs class and also in the autistic classrooms. Currently, Zoe spends her time at Butterfield Elementary School in Jennifer Seaman's kindergarten class as a Read Educational Assistance Dog, READ. Over the past 9 years, Zoe has visited in hospitals, nursing homes, post-traumatic stress disorder wards at VA facilities, Camp Purple summer camps for families of fallen soldiers, and at-risk teen programs in Maryland, Pennsylvania, and Arizona. Very well traveled. Zoe is also the lead dog in a team of therapy dogs qualified by her owner-handler, Bill Townsend. Townsend works under the auspices of the Alliance of Therapy Dogs, an international organization headquartered in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and is certified under the READ program based in Salt Lake City, Utah. 5 years ago, Dr. Ember Connolly, then principal at Butterfield Elementary School, was quoted in reference with her work with autistic students. Some of the kids are nonverbal and don't respond to adults as well as they do to animals. Zoe has touched a lot of our kids and has definitely helped in meeting an educational need. She's been an effective resource we wouldn't have otherwise. Congratulations, Bill and Zoe. AKC has presented a beautiful medallion and a ribbon. I assume that's going to go on you. Nope. There we go. Perfect. Or maybe it's not. And then a lovely patch and a certificate as well. Okay. Oh, very good. Okay, and what we'd like to do is I'd like to have you come on up on the stage. Let's get some pictures, and let's give them a big round of applause for the work. Bill, do you want to introduce your friends here too, please?
Yes. Well, apparently, my wife is handling Zoe. And, oops, she burped. And I also have here is Max, my other therapy dog. He's been doing this for 2 years. He works primarily over at MES with the special needs and autistic children. And he seems to like that population. He gets a little bored with the reading because it's too quiet. Zoe loves it because she's 10. And I also have Josie Perry, one of the other team members. She has 2 Goldens that she comes down about an hour drive to get down here to work in the schools. And her dogs are fantastic. So we really appreciate being invited and allowed into the schools. Some of the schools aren't as progressive, and I really appreciate it, and I think the kids, it helps the kids. Yeah, oh yeah, and we need more dogs. Thanks again,
Bill.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Beckett.
Governing Board member reports. Mrs. Anderson?
Sure. Well, let's see. It's been a long time.
Yes, over a month.
I do want to thank and call out the DECA Club because I had a fundraiser, not a fundraiser, but a domestic violence event at Copper Sky on October 15th. And even though it was break, these girls were amazing, and I want to thank Mrs. Rusinello and the DECA Club for participating, but they judged our mutt strut, and they were able to participate and volunteer on anything we needed. So I was very impressed, and I am very grateful that we have students that we can rely on like that. And then also before the break, I've been able to visit Maricopa High School, Santa Cruz, Santa Rosa, and Desert Wind. So I've got those under my belt and looking forward to doing the rest of them in the next couple months, hopefully. So that's it. And other than that, I'm ready for the holidays.
Well, I didn't have an opportunity to visit as many schools, so it's very impressive that you got to do kind of the little pub crawl with schools. Yes. I had the opportunity to go and meet with Principal Salaya at Desert Wind Middle School, and it was my second on-site campus visit. The first one was and when I was running for election back in 2014. I can definitely say I was really excited to see how engaged the students were. Got to tour the blended learning program and get to see that and see the wonderful things going on in the classrooms and seeing the kids and not only engage with the teachers but also engage with themselves in order to create some solutions for, I think right now they're working on their city projects. And yeah, so that was really awesome to see them. And also the relationship with Principal Salaya and the kids, it's almost like when we were walking around, she was waltzing. So it was like, and meeting all the needs of all the kids as we were doing our tour. So it was really encouraging to see the relationships being built there and everybody being really engaged. So my next step is to do a visit at Maricopa Wells. So this will be my second visit there since being on board. So that'll be my next step, and hopefully I can get that done before Christmas for the new year. And as we know, this is October, and it is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And we do, have students who have experienced domestic violence. And as a foster parent, I've worked with, had many children who's experienced domestic violence and different types of issues, and just, working with them and, encouraging them and seeing where their behaviors are coming and helping them kind of, get through it is very rewarding, and as well with the teachers, and have had really good luck with working with the schools and, working with, through some of the behaviors during school. So that's very encouraging. Now, the national hotline, I just wanted to throw this out, is 1-800-799-7233. That's the national hotline for domestic violence. And also locally, against abuse, there's a hotline that's 24 hours. It's in the Casa Grande office. Their phone number is a 24-hour hotline. It's 520-836-0858. And I would definitely encourage for those that need to report that to please do. We received an email November 8th. There's the youth town hall, and we were invited to judge. So At least I don't know if I'm going to be able to attend that. My wife's out of state. She'll be in town tomorrow, so I'll send you an email this week to let you know. I'm thinking I can, but I just needed to make sure that I give you the right information. So I understand that last year, Patty and I had the opportunity to judge, and it was a really great experience to judge the kids and seeing their presentations, and the presentations to be a facilitator for the youth town hall?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And last Sunday report, I am upgrading my foster care license to therapeutic foster care. So next month we have one meeting, and also in December we have one meeting on Wednesdays, and I will not be able to attend those two meetings in order to attain my training. So that's all I have to report right now. Thank you.
Thank you. So it has been a busy month since we were last together. I've been serving on the stipend committee, which will be, I'm sure Dr. Chestnut will be bringing that to the board next month, on what the committee's findings were of that and what the recommendation from the cabinet will be. I also was part of the booster golf outing on the 24th. It's the booster club at the high school raises lots of money that people I think have they think that it's all for the football. And what the Booster Club is now doing is they're expanding it. It is not just to the athletics. They're also helping out band and all of the other organizations and clubs in the high school. So it's more like a high school booster club than just a football booster. So if you ever have the opportunity to volunteer or support any of the activities that the boosters put on, I encourage you to do so. Homecoming, as Favor said, it was an amazing week. I think the student council, the community members, they all came together for just one fantastic week of activities. And then we had the opportunity, had a visitor from Senator Smith came down. We gave him a tour. Mrs. Knorr, Dr. Chestnut, myself, and Jonathan Patton was here. And we gave him a tour of the high school, and he got to meet with ROTC, and then he also got to meet with some of the booster club, the cheerleaders, the band, the football, and we crashed the teacher potluck, so he could actually talk to the teachers. And then he led us in the Pledge of Allegiance for the homecoming game. But it was a good way to start reaching out to our legislators so that they can see the great things that we are doing here at MUSD, and hopefully that'll start influencing the way that they vote when it comes down to our education issues at the Capitol. Mrs. Anderson and I both accompanied Dr. Chestnut for the MUSD Information Night at Province on the 6th. And that was really something else. We have such talented students. They sang from the past musicals, and then Dr. Chestnut gave his wonderful slide report, showing everything that we've done for the past year and even what we've already accomplished this coming year. And I think it was really well received. And the province community, they love coming out to see what our students are doing. And I think we're trying to work out another trip for this next production that they're doing in the fall. And on October 4th, I attended the county meeting, the ASBA county meeting with Mrs. Melvin and Dr. Chestnut. At that meeting, Mrs. Melvin received 2 awards. She received her Certificate of Orientation and her Certificate of Boardsmanship, which she earned 54 continuing education units. Every time we attend a conference or a workshop, or we serve on a committee, as board members, that's our professional development, and we earn these continuing education units. And it only helps us become better board members, understanding what's going on in the education arena in the state, as well as networking, finding out what other districts are doing, sharing what we're doing, because we're now leaders. And so we get to share that with other districts. But Mrs. Anderson was unable to attend, and she received an award. So it is my pleasure and honor to present Mrs. Anderson with her first cluster award, and it's a little pin here, and she has received this for working over 132, achieving 132 continuing education units. So congratulations, Mrs. Anderson.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Mayor Price was presenting me with the domestic violence proclamation for the city of Maricopa, and then we lit City Hall purple. So it was hard to be in two places at one time. When I figured that out, I'll let you know. But thank you for accepting this for me. I appreciate it.
I just wanted to make sure it got to you.
Thank you.
A couple other things for the board members. We do have a legislative workshop with ASBA on November 18th. If you guys want to attend that, make sure that you let Lisa know because the registration has opened, as well as the annual conference for through December 14th and 16th. I know if you're planning on going and you want a hotel room, you really need to get that done right away. I do know that we have submitted our blended learning 20+1 program as one of the programs to hopefully win an award. So we'll keep you guys posted if we win the award. Other than that, I am done. Sorry it took so long. See what happens when you only have a monthly meeting. All right, so we're going to move on to our information work study items, and we get to hear from Mrs. Rosanello in her Ignite presentation.
Board members, and thank you, Emma Steve, for inviting me to share a little bit about what's going on in my classroom and what's going on in MUSD with the community. My name is Bernadette Rosanello. I've taught at Maricopa High School for 16 years, and I currently serve in one of the coolest jobs ever, which is actually being a marketing teacher and a journalism teacher for our students. I like to brag that I teach the best students in the entire city, and so I'm pretty proud of that. But tonight I'm here to share with you an event and a learning opportunity that our students have been engaging in now for, this will be the third year of our event. So this all started with our district welcome back breakfast, and I was asked to present an Ignite speech in order to pump teachers up and motivate them. And the first thing I could think of was how we work together as teachers. We are collaborative by nature, but sort of by necessity, we have to go into our classrooms, close the doors, and then we rarely get to see one another. And so the program Shark Tank has been such an incredible opportunity to work with fellow teachers across grade levels, across the district, and this opportunity that great minds think alike, and great minds think even better when they get to think with each other. And so we've been able to grow this opportunity for our students. Shark Tank, we know ABC, the hit show, but we also had a community member who 3-4 years ago was on a board with me, and she suggested, wouldn't it be cool if we hosted a Shark Tank style event at Maricopa High School? And like any good teacher would do, and this is Rachel Burno with the Maricopa Auction STEAM Foundation. So like any good teacher would do, I took it back to my students and said, hey guys, what do you think we could do with this event or this idea? And of course I made them do all the work. And so from that grew the idea for Maricopa Shark Tank. And what it is an entrepreneurship promotion project. So we actually go out to our elementary schools, we go out to our middle schools, we talk about entrepreneurship. It's actually come up a lot in this election, that 2 out of every 3 jobs in America gets formed by small businesses. So small business is the engine that drives the American economy, and we need students who are able to innovate, to problem solve, and to think critically to solve the everyday problems of their community and of the world. And so with the support of some very influential community members, we were able to host in 2014, December, the first Maricopa Shark Tank events. And at that event, we had about 50 high school students. We had about 100 community members. The kids came with business ideas. They came dressed professionally. They presented and pitched their products, their businesses, their services. Community members attended. The Sharks attended. We had a good turnout, a lot of parents and students in attendance. And everyone said, well, that was a really nice event. But last year I had a student, his name is Juan Carrillo, and he's still actually currently a student at MHS. He's now actually an Arizona DECA state officer, so representing 8,000 students here in the state of Arizona in DECA. And Juan said, Miss, I think we can do it even bigger. And so he and another student by the name of David Schaefer took on the project, and what they did was incredible. They developed lesson plans. We call it Shark Week, that we shared with all of our elementary and middle school teachers that wanted to be involved. We did outreach and went to the middle schools and elementary schools to teach about entrepreneurship, and then provided an opportunity for all of these great thinkers to get together and to show off their great ideas. And what happened next was phenomenal because we had a full house. Our PAC, our PAC, was packed. We had 200 students, over 500 community members, parents, business owners there to support our students. We have, the event starts with an entrepreneurship fair where the students get to actually present their business ideas, and everyone gets to come. We don't turn any student away. And then from that, we select the top businesses to present in our live tank show. And then the students get real investments for growing their business from our local community members. Last year, like I said, we had multiple schools. We had Butterfield, Saddleback, Santa Rosa, all involved, as well as both of our middle school blended programs. And shockingly, my high school students were displaced from the competition. We had one team make it to the top level. I mean, they also conveniently kind of won like almost everything, but it raised the level and the standards for achievement for everybody because the middle schoolers and elementary schoolers came and they were in it to win it. And it was just a most incredible event. So this year, we've worked to try to expand it. I've talked about it every opportunity I can because this event grew so much because of the work of all the other teachers. Other teachers are like, oh, let's add this piece, and then it's just kind of organically grown. This year we have more than $1,500 committed in prize money for student businesses. We have the support of in Maricopa, Pinal County Federal Credit Union, the Maricopa Center for Entrepreneurship, the Maricopa Chamber of Commerce, Councilwoman Nancy Smith, Councilman Vincent Manfredi, and Mike Ritchie from Ace Hardware. Many of them will be serving as sharks, and they are even venturing their own personal money to invest in our students. And then we have the following schools on board for this year. We've been on, we call it the DECA Road Show. So every day we've gone to a different elementary school and presented to classes. This year we have kids in grades 3 through 6, not to mention then our middle school programs as well as in our high school programs. So we'll have 3rd through 12th graders competing with their business ideas. And so we're just super excited, and we want to invite you all to attend, and we'd like to invite the community. We still are in need of volunteers to judge. We're in need of sponsors to help support our t-shirts and snacks for our participants, and just any way that you are willing to support this initiative. It's great for our students, and it's great for our community. And that's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you. And it was amazing last year. I walked the halls, and just trying to get through the halls was crazy. But great work. All right, we have our financial reports for July and August. Mr. Rausch?
Thank you, President Coutray, members of the board. We have July and August financial report. A little less exciting than Shark Tank, but although for some it's really exciting. But anyway, as you can see on the cover, we featured Evan Grace, elected to the Governor's Youth Commission. And in the summer we have less activity, obviously, because teaching doesn't start until the first part of August. So July, we don't really have very much activity, but we do have some. Obviously, bills have to be paid in the summer work that goes on, but the teaching really begins in August. So with that, you've had a chance to potentially review my memo and financial statements, and I'm here to answer any questions.
Does anyone have any questions?
I don't. Not at this time.
Okay. Oh, you're very welcome.
Ouch. Okay. Let's move on. Okay, the summary of the Arizona School Board Association, the bylaw changes. we wanted to bring this to the meeting tonight, just to kind of, if anybody had any questions, to talk about it. It will be on an action item at our next meeting, because we have to be able to direct Lisa. She'll submit our votes as a board, because it'll have to be something that we do as an action item. So they did go over this again at the county board meeting. So there are, let's see, 6 proposals, but 3 of them are the same type of proposal.
Well, E and F are coordinated. They both talk about.
Yeah, but proposal D and F all deal with the same thing.
Yeah.
So I guess we could just start from the beginning. Like proposal A is, it basically states that the ASBA Governance Committee proposes that if any director or officer of the ASBA Board of Directors misses more than 1 meeting in a given year, it will be deemed that they have vacated their office. The directors, they only meet 4 times a year, correct, Mrs. Anderson?
3 times.
3 times a year. So I think that's why, when we talked as the governance committee, because I remember talking about this, I served on this committee, it's important that, they're only meeting there 3 times. It's important that they be there. And so that's why, that was the reason behind requesting this, this proposal. I'm in favor of passing this, but it's just something that, we'll just, we can decide as a board, but that's kind of that was the kind of the reasoning behind it.
Having served on the board of directors, it is frustrating when you have very few meetings during the year, and to make decisions on bylaw changes and goals and strategic plans. It's hard when a county isn't there, because that person represents, let's say, all of Pinell County. And so if they're not there, Pinell County's voice is not heard. So that's, as someone who's also been on the executive committee, it's very frustrating, because we don't know as an executive committee what that county thinks, because the county director's job is to go out to, let's say, Pinell County or Pima County, and find out from those other board members what their issues are, and whether or not something needs to come before the school board association that maybe is a bigger issue that we're not aware of. So I'm in favor of it. I mean, although I know that we're all adults and sometimes things happen. I know there are a few instances where, such as Coconino County, when we have our December meeting, a lot of times they can't make it because of the weather. So I think in those instances, I'm hoping that it's not a hard line that if you miss one.
No, it says more than 1.
Well, I know, but I know they're also talking about making it 1. But I think that as long as they take in the human factor and they realize that if the roads are rough and they can't get down, certainly they can phone in. So I'm fine with it, as long as they don't forget that we're human.
Do you have any?
I mean, it was pretty clear how it's set forth. The only question I had was, on proposal A, would there be a possibility, like, one was the weather. That was one question I had. And then also, what if they had somebody else step in for them? Would that be something to be permissible?
No,
think
because
so.
we take votes, that we don't have a proxy vote, but they
Okay.
can phone in.
Okay.
They can call in, and so there's really no reason for someone not to be there, either,
For the weather or for whatever
Right.
it may be.
right.
And these meeting dates are set forth in a year in advance, are they not?
Yes, they're a year ahead of time, and they're coordinated when we have conferences, so that it doesn't impede another, as far as financial. We try to package it all together.
Okay. Proposal B was from Chino Valley. They recommend that a bylaw may be amended or repealed by 2/3 of the member boards that are voting, instead of 2/3 vote of the entire membership. Thoughts?
I like this only because after the last 4 years of being on the board of directors and taking part in votes, it's really frustrating again when the bylaw says right now 2/3 of membership. However, if you only have half of your membership that shows up to vote at the delegate assembly, and sometimes less than that, it's really hard to make any permanent changes for us to go forward. It's really hard to be progressive and to think of the future if, because of the bylaw, we have 2/3 of the membership. However, if we could take it to 2/3 of who's in attendance, we could actually, I think, move forward. Because I feel if those people really care about what's going on in the state and for their students, then they will be at the meetings. So those are the people we need to listen to.
And that's how I read it too. I thought it'd provide more motivation
Yes,
to attend those meetings.
I agree.
For the members.
Okay, Proposal C. This was the caucus proposal. They wanted to have a seat on the board of directors for the president and past president of the HNAIC, and one for the president of the Black Caucus. And my understanding, and Mrs. Anderson, you would know this better, that the Hispanic, Native American, Indian caucus, they alternate. 1 year is Hispanic, there is a Hispanic president, and then the next year it's a Native American,
Correct.
Indian president. So
Correct.
they want both, they want to have representation from both. Is that my understanding?
correct.
Okay.
Well, and sometimes it might not necessarily be a Native American president or vice president. It depends on who they vote in.
Okay. I thought they went back and forth.
They try to. It
Okay.
depends on who they can get to run.
And this was actually proposed last year,
Correct.
and it failed.
Correct. And part of the reason it failed is because of B. They didn't have 2/3 of the membership.
But I don't think even the votes that they got were in favor of it.
No. Oh, can I explain something?
Yeah, please do.
In my opinion, the Black Caucus president has a vote on our board of directors, as they should. I also feel that if the Hispanic Native American caucus would like to have 2 votes, then I would like to see them split and have a Native American caucus and a Hispanic caucus. While they are one group, I see that they need 1 vote. So that's just, if they want 2 votes, then I would like to see them split into 2 caucuses. And originally, the caucuses came about as what they do is they advise the board of directors on any information that may come from their culture and from what they're hearing from their membership. And so, they are an important voice on our board, and they're an important voice in our state. So I don't want to take that voice away. However, if they feel that it's important that they need 2 votes, then maybe they need to have split into 2 caucuses. I don't know, that's just my thought.
Well, it makes sense to me, especially when you can, in politics, we can use leverage to our advantage. So, I
Right.
mean, that could be very well something that could happen.
Correct. That's just, I would like Pinell County to have 2 votes because we're such a big county. But that's not going to happen unless I change the bylaws. So it's up to the membership, but that's just my opinion. I would like to see them 2 caucuses so their voices can be even larger.
But voting on this proposal as it is written is what we have to vote on.
As it's written, I would say vote no, but certainly the board can make that decision. I'll support whatever the board wants to do.
And Proposal D. So D, E, and F all deal with the issue of the nominating committee, and the nominating committee puts forth the names of the individuals to be on the executive board. And in the past, we've had issues with the nominating committee only putting 1 name forward and then folks having to run from the floor. And it really hasn't been an election. It's been more of an appointment because they figured once you just were appointed once your name was chosen by the nominating committee, you were it. And it has created a lot of discussion and a lot of concern. And so the governance committee, they came up with Proposal D, and they proposed a change that would require a candidate wishing to run from the floor for an executive officer position must provide written notification to the nominating committee and executive director 1 week prior to the annual membership meeting. Although I was on this committee, I did not vote for this. The process that any candidate has to go through, they have to first get someone to nominate them. Then they have to fill out a questionnaire. And then they have to go down to the ASBA office for an interview. And the nominating committee is basically, they're down there the entire day doing this. And my feeling, because I've served on that committee as well, and Mrs. Anderson has run for the executive board, it's almost devaluing your time if you're going to be spending that time going through this process, and then they just run from the floor. They haven't gone through the same process that these other individuals have gone through. For that reason, I wouldn't recommend Proposal D. And obviously we didn't, because we suggested Proposal E. And that was the elimination of running from the floor for the candidates who seek a position on the executive committee. The nominating committee should provide 2 or more nominees for each open seat on the executive committee to be voted on at the annual membership meeting. I think that's a fair way of having an election, but I don't know how well that's going to go. But obviously, we proposed this, we agreed as a board to propose this, so I would imagine that we would support this proposal. The last proposal, yeah.
My problem with D, as far as promoting somebody running from the floor, is, to me, it's unprofessional, because if somebody has been vetted and they've gone through the interview process and they truly are interested in the organization, and they've taken care of doing their research, preparing their resume, they go to a day-long interview. I think that letting people run from the floor is a disservice, and I think it's very unprofessional. We as board members have to go through an election process, and so it's by the membership. But I still think that as ASBA should be a professional membership and set the bar high, and they should lead by example. And therefore, I think that running from the floor is a disservice to all the elected officials that have taken time to fill out not only the interview process, but it's a page and a half of questions. Then you have to get letters of recommendation, and the fact that you've gone out and you've done your research on the organization and you understand what the job is going to entail. That's the type of person you want to hold that position, not somebody that's going to run from the floor at the drop of a hat, which we've seen happen. And is that really how we want our organization to be run? So D is absolutely no, and between E and F, I think E is the better professional, long-term solution. D puts a Band-Aid on the issue, but I like to look at what's the bigger picture, what's going to make a difference down the road, not just putting a Band-Aid on something. And I think E actually solves the issue.
And I will say, in the past few years, when they run from the floor, the folks that have run from the floor were ones that had gone through the process, but were
Right.
not chosen because
Right.
they didn't put forth more than one name.
Right.
So they didn't make it a true election process. But I totally agree. And Proposal F just is from Oracle, another Pinal County, and they proposed just eliminating the running from the floor. Not any direction as far as the nominating committee putting forth 2 or more names.
I mean, I think if it's going to be an election, then let's make an election.
Yeah. So, any questions? You sure? Have we bored you enough? No. Okay, cool.
I think I will say that, after our last vote, I have talked to some other people about it, because the committees and organizations that I've kind of dealt with from the beginning has done the running off the floor. So, I guess what's the quote that when teaching old dog new tricks? Yeah, so I think you can, so I kind of thought about it more and talked to some other people, and I'm on board with our original vote, so I can understand. Especially, for me, it was just the process of filling out the paperwork, being vetted, and whereas the other organizations I belong to that run off the floor, there is not that process. So for me, as I looked at it deeper, I think that's what really stood out for me, so. Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's do some voting. We have the consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve?
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. And my favorite item, always, are action items for our HR schedule. Mr. Beckett.
Thank you, President Coutray. I appreciate that comment. You have in front of you the personnel schedule for tonight. Encompasses kind of almost a 6-week period here of a number of different things. So if there are any questions, I can obviously address them at this point.
The only question I have, Mr. Beckett, is on the teacher resignations. Do we already have those positions filled, or are we doing long-term subs?
At this point in time, number 1, number 2, and number 3, yes, they're all being filled by substitutes at this point in time.
Okay.
We do have some candidates in line, though, hoping to get those filled shortly.
Okay. Are there any other questions for Mr. Beckett?
No questions.
Any motions?
Motion to approve as written?
I have a motion. Do I have a second? I'll second. I have a motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Beckett.
Thank you.
And while you're up there, let's go to the next item. Discussion and possible approval of the district's 301 pay for performance compensation plan.
Thank you, President Coutray, members of the board. This is an annual vote that we are required to do. This year, we convened a committee, met just once, but again, I think the consensus was the group was that we had a good plan last year, seemed to be well received by our staff and supported. And so this is really almost a carbon copy of exactly what we proposed last year. You can see the vote was 87%, excuse me, of our staff who voted were in favor of this. And so we feel like this is a strong affirmation that this is a plan that they support and will continue to do so. So we are putting forth that tonight for your approval.
I like the fact that you got way over the 70%. That's
It's exciting, and again, nothing's perfect, and there are always issues surrounding these types of plans. When pay's a factor, it can be contentious, but again, I think you can see there is a great deal of solidarity on this particular issue.
well, and then you get the little state involved too, and that's just messy. All right. So, do I have a motion to approve the plan?
I'll motion to approve.
Second?
I have a motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Item C, this is a public hearing on capital projects. So I'm opening this up. Anybody want to speak? Crickets. Awesome. I'm going to close the public hearing. Mr. Roush, we don't have to take any action on this. This is just a hearing just for people to, okay. All right. Now the fun part comes. Okay. Moving on with our policies. We're going to start with the discussion and possible approval of the annual review of policy IHBJ, which is the Indian Education Policy and Procedures. My understanding that nothing has really been changed. This is just the annual review. Are there any discussions or motions?
I have no discussion. There's no discussion. I'll motion to approve
Okay.
as written.
Do we have a motion? Do we have a second?
Discussion, please.
Okay.
You did notice that there are changes wherever it says Indian, Native American is inserted?
Yes.
Okay, and are you
That-
guys okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm okay with the two, I just wanted to make sure.
We had discussed this at the
Right.
last board meeting, but we had to get the
Correct.
approval. So, I mean, we changed the word, we didn't change the policy itself, we
Right.
just changed the description of it.
Correct, okay. No, I just wanted to
Okay.
clarify that. So there's a motion, right?
Yes.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Now we're back to our B policies. So our first one is our policy BED, the meeting procedures and bylaws. Any discussion or motions on this?
No discussion, motion to approve.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next.
That mean you'll be the sergeant of arms too then, right? So,
Huh?
the sergeant, like the sergeant at arms, when it gets out of hand.
That's what I have this for.
Exactly.
Okay. Policy BEDA, notification of board meetings. I didn't see any necessary changes. Anybody else?
Nope.
I'll motion to approve
I have
as
a
written.
motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And our next one is policy BEDB. And this one, I did have just a couple of like wordsmithing type stuff. In the second paragraph, it says the following sections may not appear on all agendas. I don't know if we should put may or may not appear on all the agendas. It just didn't sound right when I read it, but whatever you guys. At the second paragraph, it says the following sections,
Not
look
appear
at
on all.
BEDB,
I got it. And it's changed.
may or may not, given the option,
It should be may or may not be
Yeah.
changed.
may or may not appear on all agendas.
It says the order of business may be as, oh,
Wait a
I'm
minute.
looking.
Looking at BEDB,
BEDB.
Yeah.
The following sections may not appear on all
I would
agendas
say
as
may or
written.
may not appear on all.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
And then down where it says superintendent's reports, that same text that's after the governing board member report should be also next to superintendent's report.
Do you think it needs to be?
That's what we've been practicing, so I really believe that if, these policies should reflect the best practices, and that's what we've been
I'm fine.
doing. So I just think that, we have it down there for governing board member reports. I think it should also be included in superintendent's report.
I'm fine with that.
I have no objection.
And that was all I had on that. So I would like to make a motion that we approve BEDB as amended.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And then policy BEDBA. I know. How many more letters can you add to this thing? This one, it says, that in the first sentence, it says, the superintendent will prepare the board meeting agendas in consultation with the board president. And I don't know, I would like to add something because this year, Dr. Chestnut and I are including like the vice president in doing it. And then if the board president's not available, the vice president should be doing it. But it doesn't reflect that in this policy. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I don't think it needs to because it's already in
the
board
role?
procedure that if the board president is not
Okay.
available, that the vice president will step in and
Okay.
follow those duties.
Okay,
So I say
Okay.
keep it as it is, simpler the better.
all right. So, do I have
Is
a
that it?
motion? Yeah, that was,
So I'll move to accept BEDBA as written.
Second?
I have motion second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. And BEDC, quorum. I don't see anything wrong or anything that needs to be.
Motion to
No.
approve.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. See how easy that was? All right, our last item, adjournment. Do I have a motion?
I'll motion to adjourn.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. 7:32.
Nice.
Thank you.